What's up, guys? JP here with Leprechaun Fantasy Workshop. Today is a special day for all you guys who know have been watching. I am building a Titanic model, replica, whatever you want to call it, at the 350 scale. And if you don't know, today is April 14th. This is the anniversary of the day the Titanic strikes an iceberg at 11:40 p.m. and ultimately starts to sink. And it ends up sinking on the 15th. So today, what I'm going to do, if you guys read the tagline, we're going to be working on adding details, or decals, I should say, to the model. And I'm going to be doing this as actually to finish the hull of the Titanic. This is the last part that I need to do on the hull itself, other than going in and doing weathering, adding coal dust marks, and a little bit of rust here and there, although it was a maiden voyage. All ships got in that period had rust, no matter how well you paint them. So we're gonna go into that. So let me flip over, and we're gonna start going into how to add decals. So for decals, it's a very set of tool based. It's you don't have to use all these. You don't have to have all these. But this is what I use. This is what I recommend. Decals are kind of a one go, one shot. If you mess up, you're gonna have a bad time kind of situation. So what I do and start off, I always put on at least one glove because I'm gonna be handling the model. At this point, your model should be painted and that kind of stuff, and it's just less cleanup later to remove all your fingerprints. So, haha, I got a glove on. I'm going Michael Jackson today. So, some of the tools, obviously, you're going to have your decals themselves, and I try not to handle these as much as possible. When you get a set of decals, sorry, there's a glare on there from the light, but your decals are going to come with this wax paper that comes over them, and I try to keep them on as much as possible, just because any moisture on these, you're going to have a bad time. So, and this is the one that comes with the Titanic set. The yellow stripes I'm never going to use because I painted the yellow stripe. If you guys have been following, that's I just didn't want to use these decals, so I freehanded it. I taped it off, but yeah. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to adding the hull details. If you guys can see, let me just try to get on the camera here. We're going to add the Titanic Liverpool on the stern, the Titanics on the sides, and then you can barely probably see it, but there are numbers on the bow and stern, right before the rudder, and at the very front of the bow, and they mark the depth in the water, the depth indicators. So we're gonna put those on today. I don't know if we're gonna do all of them in the stream, but I want to just demonstrate to you guys putting on decals. But decals, they come as in a whole variety. This is my pack. Like I said, I keep all of my decals for all models. I try to keep them all in one place. I put them inside of a bag with their wax paper separating. The last thing I want them to do is stick to each other. I don't want them to... And I put them inside of a bag that I always keep in a closed, cool, never moisture place. Because decal is one of those things that once you use them, you lose them. There's no coming back from them. And then I did want to really quickly talk about, this is decal paper. You can find it at any craft hobby shop. It has a film residue on it. You can see that so what I would do if I was going to use this is I would use whatever printer, that kind of thing. Sorry, this thing's driving my camera nuts. So this paper, I would use it and print, after I remove this film here, I could print whatever I want on it. As long as I cut it out very close, I can make a decal with it in the way that you're about to see. So there's other ways of doing decals. I don't do those ways. Some people use like a white piece of paper and soak it and then try and apply it that way. I prefer the actual decal water slide off method, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. So let's just get into it. Some of the tools you're always going to want to have. You don't have to have them, but they're going to make your life a little bit less painful. You don't need any chemicals, but I use chemicals. I use a pair of, these are from Tamiya, these are actually called Decal scissors. But you can use any pair of scissors. I just like the smallness of them, so it's easier to get as close as possible. Q-tips, a pair of tweezers for going in and out of the water. I have a eyedropper applicator only in case I need to add more water if I'm having issues. And then I use brushes to remove water, to help move, that kind of thing. And then I have as you guys know, I use these organizer trays. This is filled with warm water. Before this started, I had it as hot as possible. I try to use as hot as I can physically take for the water. I think that helps more, but that being said, though, I have in the past added like a drop of dish soap. I did not do it this time because I'm trying a new product, which is supposed to help a whole lot more in the line of dish soap. So the new product I'm trying here are these Micro Set Micro Sole, and I did label them prep and finish because this is what you put on first, this is what you put on second. I have not tried these before. What I used for chemicals, always in the past, was this guy, which is Decal Set from Testers. It smells god-awful. Don't ever smell it. It smells like the worst vinegar ever. And then I put it in large jars because I would go through it quite a bit. And then I used this one that had an eye applicator on it. And so this, I would fill from this jar to the other. I don't really use the Testers anymore. It just, I don't think it's as, I don't want to say I'm never going to use it again. It's, with this other product that I've seen, it's just a better quality from what I've seen. Now, I have never used it, so this is the thing with model making that I wanted to throw out to all of you guys. Model making is one of those things where it's a try, test, and I mean, and you're not going to, I mean, you could test on sample stuff, but I don't want to do that. I mean, I'm going to test on what I'm using because it's also you. Like, I'm going to be nervous, and, you know, I'm even doing this live on camera. I've never done this before with this product, so I might mess up on camera for all you guys to see. And also, there's going to be another camera recording this for TikTok, so yeah. By the way, speaking of TikTok, I do now do time-lapse videos. I also post them on the YouTube, but I do make those on TikTok. If you follow me on TikTok, it's leprechaun_workshop. They'll have all the videos the moment they're done first, and then I slowly put them onto other streaming platforms, Instagram, YouTube, that kind of thing. I'm thinking about adding them to Twitch as well, if you guys are interested in that. So, let's just get into it. So I want to do, let's do the haul name first. So I'm going to get my, and bear with me, I'm going to get things moved around a little bit here. Let's put you here. So, alrighty, so first step obviously is I'm going to cut out the decal that I plan on applying, removing the wax paper there. And I want to be careful because, again, there's those white decals as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all of this down to be easily manageable. And this is what I recommend to everybody. You want to make it, decals are, I don't want to call them a pain. I'm not saying, it's not something I look forward to just because it's, the level of stress in doing it is at a high for me. Because again, it's a one shot. I can always repaint the model over and over again if I F up. But so now I've got all the models that all the decals that I'm going to use. So again, it's all about preserving. I do still need this, even though I'm not using those yellow lines. All the lifeboat markers are on that. So I'm going to put that immediately away because I have liquids out. You know what happens if I sneeze? I'm going to pop that guy right in there. And now he is off and away. All right. So something else that I have here is I have reference material up in front of me. You guys can't see my computer screen, but I'm looking directly at 4 shots of the Titanic. And it's so I can see on the real ship where these things were, and get a sense of how things should look and should go. Because, again, I'm going to show you here. If you can see the 2 Titanics up on the other side, over here. One has the T going one way and one has the T going the other way. I need to figure out which one's the right one. So, I do have, and you guys can't see it, but over to my left, I have a table set up that has all my instructions. So I can get a good view of how things should be in proportion. And it looks like the Titanic T is actually leaning... Okay. So this one, 19, goes on this side. So I'll do that one because I'm 100% certain on that. And then I can do the other one and be safe. Now, for the actual ship, I see in the model here, the instructions just have a picture of the decal. What you guys probably can't see, if you see those 2 holes, there's 2 portholes right there. On the actual ship, I can see those 2 portholes on the actual ship in a colorized historical recoloring of the actual ship, and I know that the name goes right in between those 2. So I'm cutting out as close as I possibly can without going anywhere near the name. And this is all about making it as manageable as possible. So there we go. We got the little name. I know that looks, now it's getting more and more redonkulous. It's going to go right there. So what I'm going to do, drop that guy right in the water. Let him sit for a little bit as I get the micro set ready. And so micro set is the prep. Your blue is think of it this way. I labeled them because I will F up. It's a fact of life. If I don't, I'll still F it up. But how I try to remember it is red means stop. Red means it's done. Like it's not going anywhere. So blue that's how I kind of remember it. So I'm going to use my brush and get a little bit of it applied. And for the hull, I already clear coated this. So I'm not applying this directly to paint. I'm applying this to... I'm applying this onto the clear coat. There's a gloss coat on the... Or not gloss, but there's a flat coat on the actual ship itself. Alrighty. And just like the testers, that smells god-awful. Come on, you. I believe in you. Now I'm using another brush. And everything with these is all about manipulation. I don't want to handle it at all. And what I'm doing is I'm just sliding. If you can see that, I'm just sliding the model or the label. Uh-oh, just put that right on top of the paper. So you guys can see here, try and get this in here. You can see, focus, well, you can see it's on there, but the camera's not on. focus on this. There you go. So it's on. Now, what the thing is about this product that's... I almost knocked it over. That's advertised with the micro sole is that if you use their two-step, the full system, it will make it almost look like it is painted onto the ship. What I'm doing right now is I'm just smoothing it out with my brush to try and get all the air pockets out and that kind of stuff. So that's that side, and we're not done with that side, but while I'm waiting for it to sit and relax and love its new home, don't want to rush it, I'm going to throw the next piece into our water. Make sure it gets submerged. I want to keep my brushes apart. That's why I have a white brush and why I have a brown brush. It's not for their different bristles. It's so I know which one's which. I know the brown one I put into the chemicals. Okay. So again, and I did put the cap back on because I almost spilled the last time. You guys can tell I learn from my... I mean, not always. I am an idiot. But I do learn sometimes from my mistakes. There's more than once that I've spilled paint everywhere. And it's never like, oh yeah, that was a $2 bottle of paint. It's like something that I had a special order, or it's always something the worst that could possibly happen. Okay. If you guys have ever put decals on, it does actually. I want to say it smells like developing fluid or something like that. And I'm not saying I get high on developing fluid. I used to develop photos back in the day, like for you kids out there, like actual black and white photos. Before this whole thing called digital came out, we actually had like cameras that had rolls of film in it, and you had to, develop them. And I did like black and white photography as an art. I'm an artist. Okay. So the technique here is you just want to get the paper as close as possible, and you just literally slide the decal right off of the paper, and you slide it right onto your model. And it's a simple brushing motion, getting it to, and as close as possible. Think of it like if you were trying to push kids on a sled onto a object. You don't want the sled to just fly off into free space. You want it to smoothly go in, otherwise they're going to break their tailbones. That's how I look at it. All right, we're moving right along. I'm going to wipe my brush off a little bit. Got to be careful because the decals for the ship's depth are literally wrapping around everywhere. I could just do those first, but I like doing the name first. Alrighty. Plop him in the water. Actually, it's a ship. It's a female, her, into the water. She's beautiful. Just saying. It's crazy to think that it was 110 years ago. Obviously, none of us were alive, but it's just, I grew up with this story. I've heard the story of the Titanic so many times. I could tell you probably half of the passengers' stories. It's just an obsession of mine. I've watched probably every documentary that's ever come Alrighty, so this is going to be kind of difficult. I want you guys to be able to see, but at the same time, I did remove the rudder. So what I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to have to be doing a one-hand operation, which is always a stupid idea, but what I say, I'm an idiot. Sorry, I'm not on camera. So what I'm doing here is just applying to the bow here my decal set. And I don't like that they call it set and then sole. It's just the set makes me think like it's, you know, maybe you think about it like for the Americans out there, American football. For the anybody else out there, well, no, I mean for anybody else out there, American football for. American football. For anybody else out there, Americans for football, you know, set, hike. You say set before you hike the ball, so that's a good way to think about it. You can tell from my trying to say American football like 7 times that my mind is definitely elsewhere in this. This is, like I said, kind of a high-stress situation. All this work, and if I mess it up, it's kind of just a mess. It's not a... Alright, this is going to be a problem. I'm going to have to probably do this off camera. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'll try to get on the TikTok, though. Alright, so this is actually kind of the situation I was kind of talking about. I got the decal placed. It's on there, but it's not where I want it to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gingerly start trying to move it over a little bit. Alrighty, I think we did it. I did get a little rip for a second there, but I don't think anybody will ever know. Except it'll be our little secret. Don't tell anybody. Alright, I'm going to let that set for a bit. Here, I'll let you guys see for the shot there. There she is. Titanic Liverpool. Beautiful. Yes, I did remove the rudder. So, since we're back here already, let's get our numbers prepped. Before I do that, I almost put the non-chemical brush in the chemical. What'd I say? What'd I say? I'm an idiot. I do these things and I just don't listen to my own self. Alright, so we're going to do the numbers here, and I might have to put my big stupid head in front of the camera a couple times because the problem is that the numbers are at a font that I cannot see pretty much. So what I'm going to have to use is I'm going to have to use my big stupid, it's not stupid, it's wonderful. You can see the light. There is a magnifying glass inside of here. That is how I'm able to see stuff when I'm working on the micro detail. Okay, so... And the reason why I'm doing this, though, is that the numbers on the Titanic where it splits between the red and the black is a specific number on both. So, 37 is my magic number. I want to make sure I have a good visual of it. And into the water she goes. Again, I'm just applying the micro set on the whole area of where this decal is going to be going. Instantly put my cap back on because I don't want to spill it. Get my tweezers. And desperately try and grab this stupid decal. The last thing I wanted you to do. When I put the decals in the water, I do always try to put them in face up. Because the last thing I want to have happen is somehow, some way, the decal slides off in the water and then sticks, and it's just gone. It's just okay. That's a big slide. Hold on a second here. Let's get another angle on that. Come on. This is such a small, fragile decal that it's just one of those things you really just want to... These decals, you just want to take your time. And I'm sorry, my big stupid head's probably in the way. But like I said, this is one of those things that I have to 100% see what I'm doing. Oop, that was too much poking. Too much poking. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get the decal as absolutely straight as possible. Let's see if we can get you guys a shot of this. I know you probably can't even see the model or the decal still. You see it now? It's just, that's how small we are. It looks like a white line, right? If you look really carefully on the model, obviously, it's all numbers. And that's the thing, is I can't let it wrinkle or only that, or it won't look like numbers. It'll look like I effed up. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, there's a lot of moisture on this. So I'm going to dab it a little bit with a Q-tip. Try and get some of that moisture off so we can get a good adhesion. Alright. I also advise here, when you think it's happy, stop. Just if it's to a point where it's just it's there, don't keep on effing with it, because eventually you're just gonna F it up. Okay, now I gotta find which way these numbers go. water. We go. Get our micro set. And for that, our number is 40. And one recommendation too, and I'm sorry the light is now, after I've moved it, is glaring. One recommendation I have too, if you're building models, is buy yourself a couple pairs of cheater glasses, like the readers. And the thing is, with your glasses, you're getting, magnification. It's not so you can read better. It's so you can see better when you're doing something like this. I do have one of those jeweler eyepiece things, those glasses. I thought that would be a good way of doing it. Not at all. They're just not. I have to get it up to my face just to see anything. Alright, I'm trying to find my number 40, and if my head's in the way, I'm sorry. This is the one I'm scared of. Let's get that 18 out of the way. I don't know if it's a bad way of doing it. Yeah, that's a bad way of doing it. Oh, that's not at all what I wanted to do. Oh, that's not at all what I wanted to do. Okay. We're on the model. This has not been the best application at this time, but let's fight the bear. Let's try and fix this impending disaster. Mission number 1, just get the entire decal on the model again, and then we can work about repositioning it. So I'm going to need more liquid propulsion. And that will help me coax. Okay, so, and here, what I'm doing here with the numbers is I'm just trying to coax the top number where it needs to be. As soon as I have that, it's just kind of straightening everything else out. I'm using the tip of my finger to try and, if you guys can see that, I'm using the tip of my finger here to try and coax it down. And I think we're actually in business. So now it's about getting that moisture that I had to add to get the decal there removed. I think that looks pretty good, guys. Pretty good. Alright. Be as careful as possible and give her a flip. Twist and flick. Wingardium Leviosa. It's not Leviosa. It's Leviosa. Sorry. Can't help myself. Alright, now one problem. Where did my other... Should probably be... Here we go. Lost one of the decals. And I do not recommend soaking all the decals at once. Do them as you go. It's just bad things will happen. Somehow you'll get all piled together. You'll get A witch will come in and attack you. You're gonna have a bad time. It's just, don't do that. I recommend one at a time. It's easily controllable. I'm doing the wrong side because I'm an idiot. And for those of you wondering, yes, the propellers are done. I do not want to add them yet to the hull, simply because I have a lot of work and handling to do on the Titanic, and the last thing I want to do is accidentally knock off the propellers when they look perfect right now, and then have it super glue them back on. And then just, that's the thing. You don't want to... You want one application. So although it could look really good right now and make me feel good, it's not the right course of action in the long run. Okay. Come on, start sliding off there. And I might just have to actually re-soak this because it's not sliding the way I want it to yet. So we may need to soak this a little bit more. Nothing wrong with that. Just give it a little bit more water time. She's not ready to come out of the bath. Oh, and the last thing I wanted to have happen happened. The decal came loose in the water. Houston, we have a problem. Oh, I think we might have crisis averted here. Crisis may have been averted. Come on. All right, we're at least on the model. We're on the model. That is okay at this point. Now the only problem is I've got to get this thing to move up a millimeter. Okay. There, got it. We got it in the right spot-ish. Now just dressing it up a little bit, getting her to look pretty. Awesome. I know you guys can't really see this, but I'm talking about it, and let me try. Let's try. If you can only try, right? So I want to zoom in as much as I possibly can, so you guys can kind of get a shot here of what we're talking about. Come on. There you go. There's our numbers. You got it for a second there. Yeah, it's not good. But that's the level of, I mean, it's so small you can see the numbers there for the brief second. It's a real challenge, guys. It's not a... Model making is one of those things where it's not a... It's, patience is key. It is... If you're a high-strung, high-stress person, I do not recommend model building. But it feels daggone good when it comes out good. I'll tell you that right now. All right, this is our last decal, and I'll do the sole, the sealant and stuff later. But I just wanted to give you guys a good view of of the process. Live, you know, I'm doing this literally live. You've seen problems, I have problems, and I've done these tons of times. It's just, and you can see my workspace just gets more and more crazy as I try and do it. Alright. Let us hope our last... I'm going to do this left-handed because I'm just that stupid. No, I'm not that good. I'm that stupid. Oh, that's a dumb idea. Use your dominant hand as your brush hand, for the love of God. What are you doing? Come on, JP. You get that 17 off there. Just so you know, if you're using decals, the numbers that label them also become decals. So be careful, because you don't want to put that on your model and then sit there struggling trying to get them off. I feel like I'm going to have the same problem with this one as I did with the other one, but I don't want it to come off in the water. Alright, I saw this one move, so maybe we can get it on now. Alright, it's crinkled, but it's on the model. We can probably work with crinkle. We can probably work with crinkle. Get some more water on there to give it a little bit more of a coaxing to move. Dang it, Bobby. There we go. That's looking more. Now I've got a ton of water on there though, so let's try and soak some of that up while I get the last bit of positioning in there. But before it wasn't looking good, but we're only about a millimeter off where we need to be. And I'm going to add more water, even though I just took water off. I know it's counterintuitive, but crazy things you do for love. You really just don't want to move that one bit, don't you? The power of the model builder compels you. Okay, we are somewhat in place. Getting some of the excess water up with the Q-tips. Giving it a little push, push, nudge, nudge. Wink, wink, hint, hint. Alrighty, guys. I want to call that mission accomplished. We had some struggles there, but... Here, I'll flip back to that. So, guys, yeah, there was some challenges. You got to adapt and overcome. I mean, you're gonna have problems as you do things. It's one of those things. Don't freak out. Keep calm. You know, if it's something that you need to practice on it, then go ahead and practice. Get a couple sets of plastic spoons. I mean, practice takes money, so I mean, you'll have to. You can buy a set of decals from other, resources that are completely like all of the other decals, and then utilize those. There's a couple things you can do to try and practice this. before you do it live on a model. Again, I don't. It's one of those things of I know the techniques. It's just, do I get overzealous? Do I get stupid? You can always move stuff around. Just add more liquid, water. I can use the micro set to also move around, but water also works. I already put the micro set on. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to come in with the micro sole, this product that's red and cool. And what that does is it kind of softens up the decal. It helps curves better, and it also helps work out getting all the air pockets. Although it's so small, it's going to make it almost look like it's painted on, like little people. We little people painted it on. So, but thanks for hanging out with us, guys. You guys have a great rest of your day. You know, at 11:40 tonight, you know, just give a moment, think about, you know, how many people were on the Titanic, all that kind of stuff. That's my thing, you know. So, but thanks for following us. More to come in the future. I will see you guys in the next one. This is JP from Leprechaun Fantasy Workshop signing off. Thanks for joining us.